After listening to my Oga and Chioma, and I'm asking myself, what else is remaining? Because we should just close and be going, right? Okay. During the break, some people were asking me, oh, Nelly, you have made it because you live in Lagos. And I just smiled. You know, a lot of people don't know I went to FGGC Owerri. All my life I live here. 2001 set, hello! So 2001 set, I wasn't that girl in school who was popular. In fact, I was one of those people who you felt would never make it in life. That is just who I am. I grew up in Transebu. All my life, I have lived in this Owerri. The only thing that brought me out of Owerri was NYSC when I was posted to Lagos. So just in case you think, oh, because I see her on social media, so her story is totally vavavoom. No. So today, you have heard about daily bank alerts. You have heard about disrupting you. But have you understood how you're going to do it? Many of you are already saying, okay, what's going to be my daily bank alert? I'm going to create a course. I'm going to do this. I'm going to teach that. But guess what? At least 10 other people in this room are going to do the same thing that you're going to do. And they will become what? Your competitors. So today I'm going to show you how to outperform your competitor using influencer marketing. Let's go. To be an influencer doesn't mean you need to have thousands of followers. Let us just drop that one here. To be an influencer is to be able to tell certain people, jump, and they'll ask you how high. To be an influencer is to be able to do something that other people would necessarily not be able to look at or do it or push others to do. So let's just go into it. Let's start with what is influencer marketing? Influencer marketing is a form of social media involving how to, endorsements and how you can use social media to push and influence your business. A lot of you who are here right now are asking yourself, how can I move to the next level? How can I outperform my competitors? How can I grow my business in such a way that at the end of the day, I will become the star girl. I will become Cruise with Joe. I will be the one that everybody knows. How can I do that? So it's the little things that you do that automatically brings you to this forefront. So it's not about how many followers. I will reiterate that. And I need to sing it as much as possible. I have seen people with lesser followers making millions of naira. We're going to dollars soon. Sir. Please forgive us. Let us start with million naira before we get into dollars. And every single time I see this particular, I keep telling people like, okay, now what do we need to do? How do we become influencers? Or how do we outperform our competitors? We can do it in two ways, right? Either by working with an influencer to help you to outperform, or you become an influencer to eventually outperform your competitor. So while the first one will help you take it to a long step, but the second one will move you to the place where I am right now. So each and every one of us may in one time in our business life pay someone to help us out. That's number one. But number two is when you have learned the act of doing it yourself in such a way that at the end of the day, you are not helping others. You're growing your business. You have learned to disrupt yourself. You have learned to move your business in a way that nobody else is actually doing it. And I'm going to teach you the two. Okay? Are there business owners here? If you're a business owner, raise up your hand. You guys are a lot. And do you market your business? Okay. See this. We have a lot of people who are, actually marketing their businesses, but they don't have influence. So sometimes you wonder why is it that my neighbor who is selling the same skincare with me. In fact, I do better job than her. But at the end of the day, she's selling go-go. Give this side, get alone, but you don't understand what's the difference. There's an act to it. So when you see somebody else doing, you need to really sit down and understudy. How is this person doing what they are doing? So I'm going to explain something to you. There's a guy in Italy called Pareto. In 1906, he realized that, 20% of the people in Italy actually own 80% of the land. 20%. So sometimes what you're really focusing on in your business is actually not what you're supposed to focus on. As you see me now, I own a food business, but I'm not in Lagos. I'm here with you guys, and my business is selling. I realized what works, and I understood how to create a structure in such a way that I can be able to get people to do the other parts and focus on the sales. I'm my chief marketer. I'm the person who pushes the brand. Every single day, there's cartons of chin-chin living everywhere to all over the world, all because of I have learned the act of marketing. However, I'm not in my space. I have created what I need to create to ensure that every single person knows what they're supposed to do. Some of you here are so busy focusing on other things that you are not supposed to focus on. I know, as a business owner, especially a small business owner, you are thinking, okay, yes, I'm supposed to be the person who bakes. You're supposed to be the delivery person. You're supposed to be the one creating the content. You're supposed to be doing all that. I did that. That is how I grew my business, from my kitchen. However, I had a timeline to when that has to stop. That is the difference between me and you. So when you are coming on board and when you want to start thinking, what is that 20% you can bring into your business that will give you 80% of the revenue of your business and make you stand out from your competitors? That's what we need to start thinking about. For me, I knew that it was the marketing. I focused on being the chief marketer and the chief innovator. And that was all I needed to do. The rest was to create structure, put people in operations, get them to handle it. I don't even sometimes nowadays know how much my products are. Not because I am trying to be bragging, no. I have grown so much that I don't even need to start telling you, my Ugu cheese is 1.5, my this one. So you need to learn what is that 20% in your business that you're going to do that will bring you 80% of the revenue. Sit down within yourself. If you're an Uber driver, what will be that 20% you need to do? Drive. Do you understand me? So you need to drive for you to bring the money. But when you understand exactly what you need to do, that is it. Some of you in your business think that you need to be in the business. No. Sometimes you need to get help. And when we say get help, sometimes people think that you need to hire a lot of people. It could be your sister. It could be your niece. Anybody. Get them to help you. And before you know it, you're still creating a structure. Okay? So let's think of this. So there are many marketers, but I've already talked about this. If you talk about different marketers, I want to ask you a question right now. When you think about crypto, who do you have in mind? When you think about accounting, who do you have in mind? Can you raise up your hands? Do you think about Choma? When you think about ads, do you have anybody in mind? No problem. When you think about TikTok, who do you have in mind? So now, for you to remember those people at the top of your mind is because to an extent they have influenced you. Do you understand where I'm coming from? To an extent they have influenced you. So you have made them top of your mind. How about you becoming top of mind. How about you thinking about that? So let's go. I want to talk to you about something, right? I want to talk to you about somebody. There's a guy, I don't know who, if you know the owner of Patricia, who got the how now guy, the owner of Patricia. Have you heard about Patricia Crypto, the app? So this guy was in school then, and he said to himself that he has tried many businesses, and really nothing has worked for him. He had done all he's supposed to do, and nothing was really coming out. And he looked at all the list of all his business ideas, and he took one that was really low, say number 20 or 58, that is not the business ideas he had. And he said to himself, let him see how he can grow this particular one. Then there's something that struck him. He realized that most of the students then in Unilag or so, I don't know the school really, were all dyeing their hair. And when he asked, they said that it was because of one musician, is it Olumide or something? Well, the guy dyes his hair, so everybody wanted to be like him. So they all dyed his hair. He was like, man, that is badass influence. So, do you understand? So he said to himself, what if I go and meet Olumide to help me market this thing? But he knows he doesn't have the money to market this his new product called Patricia. But he knows he doesn't have money. So he went to meet someone called Mr. Jollof. Do you know him? Thank you. He went to meet Jollof, and Jollof went, just sat down there and created content. And he looked at the content and he said to himself, this particular content doesn't even look like it would make sense. But he went ahead and posted it, and Mr. Jollof posted it. Come and see alerts. People were buying in numbers. People were really buying a lot of stuff. And he wondered, see, to him, it did not make sense. But to the people who followed Mr. Jollof, it was everything. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So because of it, today, he has never stopped using influencers to market his business. Go and check Patricia. You will see lots of influencers. Haven't you seen them? A lot of them are marketing his business because they've understood how to use influencer marketing. Okay? So let's talk about how to outperform your competitor as working with an influencer. When you're working with an influencer, one of the biggest mistakes I get to see is that you pick the wrong influencer. Most of you were like, oh my God, this person has so much followers. Let me align with this person. Let me pay this person so that I will make sales. And then you pay this person and then you feel sad because you did not make sales. It has happened to me. I have had an influencer who had over 10 million followers post me on their page, and I didn't make so much sales. However, there's one girl like that, one banshee like that, not one side. And she just has like 30-something thousand followers. And she told her followers about me. And that whole day, I could not rest. So when you want to pick your influencer, be careful picking the ones that do not align with your business. The moment you do that, you're already going to lose sales. And that's not what you want. You want the visibility plus the return on investment. Okay? The next one is that you have to be ready to pay them. Some of you are always forgetting, that money begets money. You want to get something out, but you don't want to pay for it. Even though there's a way to do that. But however, you need to get access. Some of you have not learned the act of getting access from people. So these are the things that you need to start learning. Okay? The next thing is, do not superimpose your ideas on your influencer. Some of you say, no, it has to be like this. It has to be like that. And then the person is telling you, if you want it this way, it's not going to give you the result that you want. But no, it's about my branding. And they post it, and you start wondering, why is it that you're not making sales? You did not allow the influencer to do what they know how to do best. So if you want to outperform your competitors, you have to, and working with influencers, you have to allow them to do their job. All you can do is to just look at what they have done, allow them to be creative. There's a reason why you pay them, and then let them do their jobs. Okay? The next one is that you need to focus on visibility. I know that you want to make sales, but when you are so focused on the money, you will really forget the essence. I have run an ad with someone. I did not make any sale, but in the week coming up, late, afterwards, I realized that people were buzzing me, telling me that they saw me on one page, which I made an advert, and they want to work with me. So sometimes what you're looking for may not get the results immediately, and then you write off the person. So instead of you to just focus on, how many likes, how many this, or did I make sales, just leave all that. Focus on the visibility, especially if that person is within your target market. Okay. So yes, you have to understand the influencer's content to be sure that it's within the pattern to give you results. I'm rushing up because they have been on my time. Okay. So the next thing we want to talk about now is how can you become an influencer? How can you outperform your competitors by being an influencer? Do you understand? This time around, you are now the one becoming an influencer. So the first thing I want you to do is to learn life and digital skills that will stand you out. So many of you think that for you to just make it or be known, or for us who are here, who have become influencers, that it just happened in a day. No. This life you're seeing me started from here in Owerri. Even when I was in school, I said to myself, you see this, anytime I come from midterm break in the house, and my mom asks me to wash plates, I say, Mommy, don't worry, go. So that I'm going to start plates. It started from there. I started having the mindset. I started having the, being able to think about how can I use life skills. Even when I was here in Owerri, I used to repair people's phones. When I was still in Owerri, I used to repair people's phones. I started using the little skills that I learned online. So, but some of you have just not decided to grow yourself. You have to start asking yourself, what are the little things that you can do differently? Then you need to learn how to leverage on other people's impacts. Learn how to use, or now you are in this network. How many people have you had serious discussions with? It's not about sharing numbers. Many of you have taken my numbers, but will I answer? Many of you have taken my numbers, but will I answer? I may not answer you. You will call. But you have not created an impression for me to answer you. That is what most of you did here. You came, took numbers, and left. And then you say, Nelly, hey, I met you at Smfest. How many people did I meet today? How will I recognize you? You have not left an impression on me. So when you now say, Nelly's she's snobbish. No, I don't remember you. You didn't leave an impression. I'm not snobbish. I can't remember you. So for all of you who went to take my number, you not see the assignment. Assignment. So afterwards, you leave an impression. All right. So the next one is that you need to learn how to build relationships. Very intentional. You need to learn how to intentionally say to yourself, I want to be friends with this person. I want to be friends with that person. These days, I'm 37 years old, and I'm not going to be lol or one of Instagram for the rest of my life. So I'm very intentional about building the next influencers. So when I go on social media and I see someone doing well, and I want to give them the punch, the push to move to the next level, I go and I tell them, let me, do this. I talk about them. I push them out. And that is how I build my own relationships. When I see also people who want to, have good relationships with me, I ask myself, do you have something to offer to me that is worth my while? Do you understand? So when you're thinking about building relationships, really ask yourself, how can you move how can you move into the inner circle of the people who you want to work with, who you really appreciate, who you want to be in their circle? What do you need to do? Do you need to pay for access? Do you need to volunteer for stuff? Whatever you need to do, you start now. There's a time I really wanted to be very close to, what's this woman's name? The first bank lady, Awashika. I realized that when we went to an event, everybody was just, rushing to her. And I didn't stand a chance. But I have understudied Madam Awashika so much that I realized I know her best friend, Mrs. Yewanda Zacchaeus. So I went to Mrs. Yewande when others were rushing to Mrs. Awashika. So I greeted her, talked to her, and I thought I want to one day meet Mrs. Awashika. She carried my hand, went to go and carry me to Mrs. Awashika. What did I do? I learned how to build the relationship. I didn't just go, hey, Mr. Awashika, this is Naija. She will not remember me. After that day, but her friend, did the connection. So even if I want to call Mrs. Awashika tomorrow, how will I talk to say about myself? I say, Ma, Mrs. Yewande brought me to you. At least you remember her friend who will not remember me. Are you seeing what is happening? So learn to build relationships. Learn digital skills. We can't overemphasize it. Today, people are enjoying cruise with Joe. It's because he learned how to build digital skills. So learn how to do that. Trust me, even if it's video editing, anything you need to learn it. It actually does help you a lot. Okay? Have a long-term mindset. Have a long mindset goal. Don't think about the now. Learn delayed gratification. Learn how to delay. Learn how to say, this thing that I want. I want this thing in 2023, but I'm starting now. Do you understand? So tomorrow, when somebody say, how did you know, Miss Choma? Say you don't understand. Something that I started since. Do you understand? Because you have mapped your way. And when you do all that and you're intentional about creating those relationships, intentional about the long mindset goal, that is it. You'll start to become an influencer. People will start to see you in the circles of the places that they want to also be in. So they'll start asking you questions. How are you doing it? As they're asking you, you on your own side, you're creating your own skills. You're increasing and you're building yourself. As you're building, people are also admiring. And people as people are admiring, they are also ready. Okay, and yeah, showing up consistently, we can always not stop talking about that. And I guess that is it. Thank you.